understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
What's up, everybody? We are back for an episode of Abby's Window, and we got a lot to talk about. I feel it's interesting how that always happens. Um, obviously, we can't have a show without Abby. So, Jody, how are you today?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here. That's what counts right now, is that I'm here. The countdown is on for Christmas at this point, which also means the countdown is on for me to be off work for a couple days. So I'm happy, to get a little bit of a break here and celebrate the holidays. So first off, I want to apologize because my schedule last night was a little bit crazy. So with work, so that's why we had to move Abby's from last night to tonight. So I apologize to everyone for having to do that. Hopefully, we can make it up to you with this show and you enjoy it. Before I start shouting out some people, though, we gotta recognize the gear, the shirt.
Yeah. Speaking of intoxicating and delicious, you like my shirt?
Heyo.
Kidding.
This is just water, by the way, folks. This is just sparkling ice. So
sure. Yeah, it was actually really funny. I went on and ordered the vinyl and the autograph CD and stuff, and picked a different T-shirt, and then got an email that one that I had picked was out of stock, and so I asked about a different one. There were only 2 on the website, and I saw him wearing this shirt in one of his pictures on Instagram, I think, and I had commented and said, I want that shirt. And then sure enough, the next day I got another email that said, we have this one. And it was this one. And I said, that's kind of creepy. That's a little weird. That's a little Twilight Zone-ish, don't you think? I literally just said yesterday I wanted that shirt.
There you go.
So
there you go. Well, let's welcome in some folks and then we'll get started here. Chad Schrader, Cheese Whiz 2, Diana, Jody's also in the chat. Erase Your Mind, I'm also in the chat. Big Dan, Odin's son, Seven Fiend, Shane Loki, Gene, Callan Corner, Jesse, what's up? Wally, Alicia P. All right. Okay, so Jesse and I are drinking the same thing. I love those things, by the way. My kids pick at me that they were like, how many of those things do you drink, Dad? And I'm like, I like them, so leave me alone. Just leave me alone about that.
Like
exactly. And there's not a lot. I mean, I love soft drinks, so there's not a lot that replaces that for me, and I'm trying not to drink soft drinks as much. It's hard, it's tough, but whatever. And yes, I have to bring attention to the fact of what Big Dan is saying here. Jody and I are at odds this weekend when it comes to football. Our teams will be playing each other for the first time. They'll play each other 2 times in 3 weeks, so that'll be interesting. Dang you, Tony, and the Doritos. I remember those Doritos. They were delicious. The sweet chili
Those are
Doritos
good.
were they're really good, really really good. But yes, Jody, I'll be honest with you, I'm not feeling too confident right now. Because basically everybody on my team, except for about 3 people, are injured. I kind of feel like we're going to bring a busload of fans to Charlotte on Sunday, and you guys may be playing against some of the fans on Sunday.
And you don't have a coach.
It's going to be a rough weekend.
Yeah, well, cardiac cats have been known to deeply wound the fans when we don't expect them to. So I don't know how that's going to go. We kind of both suck right now.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? By this weekend, if I'm not on social media or anything, just look at the TV. I might be playing some position for the Bucks this weekend. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I might get the call tomorrow. I don't know, but good grief. I mean, talk about
We got some
rough.
work to do. Both have some
Yeah,
work to do. I
both.
think, like I said before, the Panthers are they're very much a put all their eggs in one basket kind of team, and that tends to bite them in the ass. And
Yeah,
they've got to try to get away from that.
yeah, yeah. Hanzo, what's up? We're gonna get there. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're gonna get there. We're just kind of, we had to acknowledge Big Dan's comment because it's true. I mean, Jody and I are good most of the time, all the time, but there's those 2 times a year that we have to be at odds a little bit. Those are the times where we're not always great, and that's when the Panthers and Bucks play. And but it's all in fun.
Happy.
You said what now?
At least my husband's happy.
He should be. I mean, number 1 seed, playing well, looking like they're going to get home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It's
really hard to beat Green Bay in Green Bay.
And I'm still trying to figure out how Tampa Bay did it last year. That's how hard it is. So, they might need to give me a call, Dalton. Give me a call. I can help out some kind of way. James Chadwick. What's up, James? All right. So, big elephant in the room at this point is, and shout out C Wrestling. He put a video together. And there may be some buzz out there, Jody, that Windham could possibly return to WWE. There have been some theories out there. We'll start with the one that that Hanzo brought out there. There was supposedly a bird, and it was a bird behind Drew McIntyre, and people linked the tweet from a couple months ago that Windham put out, basically saying, "I'll feed you baby birds," and then all of a sudden there's a bird behind Drew McIntyre. So what did you think when you saw the bird?
I mean, instinctually, you're going to relate that to Bray because as a fandom, everything revolves around him for us. So, your knee-jerk reaction was, what's that for? Is it just coincidence? Is it there on purpose? Is it going to do something else? And that's kind of the mindset that Bray has put us all in. Windham has put us all in to look for things that are hidden in plain sight, because that's what he's always done really well. And, how many times have we spent watching Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views, on Puppet Watch and trying to figure out these little significantly insignificant details that kind of breadcrumbs that Bray has kind of left behind. And so, your knee-jerk reaction is, what is Bray? Just like any other hint of anything connected with him, with some lighting going out on another show and, little things here and there that I think we really, really miss him. So we're going to relate pretty much everything to him possibly showing up or returning or going somewhere else or whatever it may be. And the bird could have significance, but it may not be for Windham.
Right.
There looks like they're grooming a couple of other people to be kind of like Windham. So kind of cult leader Bray-ish. So it could be for somebody else. It doesn't necessarily mean it's for Windham. It could be a random bird that got backstage. I don't know. But I wouldn't jump right to it being about Windham.
Gotcha.
Because it might not be. Even though we really want it to be. Because, damn it, we miss him.
Yes. Yes, we do miss him. Yes, we do. So I do want to move to the part about the contract because I find this interesting. Supposedly, reportedly, there were contract offers from AEW and Impact, and reportedly he was not interested in either of those. Do you think that could be any indication that maybe there's something on the table for him to go back to WWE?
Not necessarily. Obviously, we know that he's in Tennessee shooting this movie with Jason right now, but I think he is at a really good position at the moment because he's financially stable, obviously. Right now, he's working on a movie with Jason, and he really can, kind of like his last tweet said, like he's waiting for the right time, the right opportunity. It's got to fit together exactly how he wants it to. And he's got that luxury right now to say, yeah, I might like the pay, but not having creative freedom, or, yes, I'm getting creative freedom, but it's not enough money, or those little tiny details that are in those contracts, like, no let go clause or whatever. He is definitely in that position where he has the luxury to wait for the right contract, and I think that's part of what he's doing, but he's also working on the movie too, which we're super excited about.
Yeah. And Tony brings up a good point here, and we talked about this a little bit before we got started. I think at this point people just want to see Windham, wherever that may be, a movie, TV series,
A commercial,
a commercial,
a podcast,
or podcast. Now, we're not going to be biased and say come here, but I'm going to be biased and say come here. But what if the first time we hear from him is the whole idea behind Cult of Windham? Like, what if he's kind of curating that and telling that story, and he puts it out in different episodes? I mean, do you think that would kind of satisfy everyone's appetite for his appearance for a while, or
it'd be like an appetizer.
Be an appetizer?
I mean, I think his really hardcore dedicated fans want to see him back in the ring at some point. Doesn't mean that we're not, excited about the movie and want to see the movie, because we do. It's actually, I think, because he is so good at playing those characters that he came up with, and he completely dedicates himself to his craft. He almost gets lost in it in a good way. So we're really looking forward to seeing that play out on a big screen, because we know how good he is at it, because that's what we've been watching him do for years. But yeah, I do think there's a core part of us that wants to see him wrestle again. And I don't really think that he's done wrestling.
Right.
That would be a surprise to me if he came out and said that he wasn't going to wrestle anymore. But yeah, doing some kind of free the narrative thing. I think it would whet our appetite, but it wouldn't last long.
Gotcha. It would just be that tiny little morsel that is enough to piss your stomach off. Like, okay, I had it, now I want more. That's
Yeah.
So Big Dan has an interesting comment here, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I do want to add. Well, I'll read the comment and then get your thoughts, and then I have a question. Big Dan says, I think WWE knows they screwed up, and I think NBC, Universal, and Fox are exerting more influence, especially when rumors of a sale are rampant. I seriously think a return isn't that far-fetched. What do you think about that?
No, I don't think it's far-fetched. But like I said, it's got to be the right thing for him. And so I think he's going to make the right decision with whatever he wants to do. But if he doesn't want to go back there, he doesn't have to. If he does, he does.
Right.
And I do think the networks are putting a lot of pressure on WWE to perform a little bit better. You know, every time that you see shows and stadiums, you know, the seats are half empty. And I think there's a reason for that. And that's because they've let go a lot of really talented people that had a really solid fan base. And just like the Panthers, put all their eggs in one basket, and not everybody wants those eggs.
Yeah.
Not to say the people still behind aren't talented, because they are, but you know, you can't have one type of wrestler or two types of wrestlers. It's people are going to get a little sick of it, and you can't keep, you know, this is the problem that Vince had like a decade ago with Roman, and why the fans turned on him in the first place, because they just pushed him and pushed him and pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. He should have turned heel 10 years ago, but they pushed him so hard that the fans turned on him, and that's not Roman's fault.
No.
So I think he's focusing too heavily on, you know, those core 4 or 5 people, and kind of ignoring everybody else or letting them go. So then you've got people like, you know, Naomi, who's a fabulous wrestler that we barely see, you know, and it's just, it's, they've got to do something, or the networks are going to be like, I'm out.
Yeah. So let's say that WWE comes back to him and says, okay, Windham, listen, we effed up. We know we effed up. Tell us 3 things that you need in your contract that would ensure you coming back to us. What would be 3 things that you, if you were Windham, what would you want in your contract?
I'd ask for creative freedom, copyrights, and a no fire clause. And so he would have creative freedom on what character he wanted to portray and how he wants to do it. Trademarks as far as all of the characters that he'd had thus far, you know, have the trademark for Bray Wyatt, for the Fiend, for Sister Abigail, you know, because those are his characters that he came up with. He deserves to own the rights to those.
Right.
So that's, I mean, me personally, that's what I'd ask for. And I think, knowing him, I would imagine him to be a little bit more focused on the creative side than the money side.
I was going to say, I thought that was interesting that you brought up 3 things, and none of those 3 things had anything to do with finances. Because I think this is a different situation, a different person. A lot of people would come in and say, I want Brock Lesnar money. Okay,
who doesn't want Brock Lesnar money? But...
Right. Yeah, I mean, let me see what some of the folks are saying in the chat. If I was winning full creative control of my character, it would be number 1. Keeping Goldberg away from me would be number 2, and a match with Roman number 3. Erase your mind saying I would love for Windham to own that trademark to the Fiend.
Think about what he could do with that. Just even if you had to pick one, just letting him have the rights to all the characters that he's come up with since he started wrestling. And then he has the ability to be like, you know what? I am going to do a movie about the Man in the Woods.
And if you're WWE, you'd be idiotic if you didn't, like, if you re-signed him, especially now that you know he's into the movie business. If you re-sign him, you could have a resurgence of some of the films that they used to do back in the day, and have WWE films, WWE Studios, whatever it was, on that, and you're making money, he's making money. It's a win-win. James Chadwick saying, I can see WWE giving Windham whatever he wants like that just to stop him from going to AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be tremendous if they work that out. So he could. Oh, Bates. Some of their movies were good. That one, not so much. If you've never seen The Chaperone, just go read about it. Don't watch it. It's not worth it.
But I mean, like, he could totally, if he had the rights to those characters, he could get with Rob Zombie and make another Devil's Reject kind of movie. You could get with Jed Shepard, who did Host, and I think Shepard's his name, and do something like that too. Like, the possibilities are endless if he just had the rights to use the characters that he's come up with.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the merch.
Ooh, the merch would be crazy. Let's see. Hanzo saying, dude is financially stable. I'd ask for full creative freedom, not to screw him over. Don't let the Fiend lose. Other Colt, Firefly lose in Universal title run. Okay. Jesse is like one of 4 people that I know like the Chaperone. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch it. I don't know. Okay, so let's say for argument's sake that he ends up saying, you know what, this sounds good. I got everything that I want in my contract. I'm gonna go back to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the first person you'd like to see him up against?
Randy. You got to close that chapter. It never really got closed.
True.
He beat him at WrestleMania because somebody else interfered. I would like closure to that story.
Anyone else that you'd like to see him face?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely like to see him go up against the New Day because they had an old feud back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say that I want him to have a feud with Roman. If I knew that he had full creative control, I'd be more comfortable with it. But if you go up against Roman, there's a 99.9% chance that you're going to lose. So I don't know that I would want him to do that. But I wouldn't mind him having a feud with AJ. I think that would be interesting.
That'd be good. And AJ's kind of freed up from tag team right now since he and Omos have split.
That was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely initially, I would really like to see closure to that story. What's he going to do with Little Miss Bliss and, address what happened, at WrestleMania and, have that final match with Randy and close that chapter.
Yeah. I would love to see that. I really would love to see him close that chapter with Randy. Let's see here. Hanzo saying beat Randy to a pulp, reunite with Alexa, have him portray. I know. Have him portray Burnt Fiend and Original Fiend, or is that too much? I know that you cringe at one part, so go ahead and say you kind of don't want that direction, essentially, right?
Parts of it, sure.
Okay.
I really don't think he is the kind of character that needs a sidekick. I don't know. You kind of liken her. I'm not comparing the two, but she was kind of a mouthpiece at times when he wasn't there. Kind of like Paul Heyman was with Roman and them not being together anymore either, because Roman doesn't need a mouthpiece. He
Right.
doesn't need a sidekick. Brock was the person that, you know, seemed to struggle a little bit more on promos and talking, and that's why him and Paul Heyman were so great together. But Wyndham doesn't need that. He is like, you know, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Like, he doesn't need someone to speak for him or to tell his story. I think he is the only person that needs to tell that story. And I don't know how that came to pass and how she became part of that story, whose idea it was. I can't really imagine him being super happy about it, especially because that was all his creation. So I think he is a single dominant monster and he doesn't need anybody else.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that, you know, I think what you're saying is you want to see a return to the Fiend as he was in the beginning when this thing first kicked off.
Yeah.
Kind of a dominant monster, popping up places, taking people out.
I love the lights going out and he just popped up randomly on somebody and pulling people under the ring. Like, you just never knew when he was going to show up. And that was what was so beautiful about it, because you were on the edge of your seat all the time. And even in the Funhouse episodes, you were on the edge of your seat all the time, because you're sitting there going, what's he going to say next?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of clues and Easter eggs is he going to leave for us now? Like, we still go back and watch old Funhouse episodes to look for little tiny things that he left in there. And I'm sure, you know, knowing him, that there was probably a lot of things that he wanted to do that he didn't get to.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see it exactly the way that he wanted to show it.
Yeah. Which would be magical. Big Dan saying, I tease him with the lights going off randomly throughout the build up to the Rumble, and Randy is number 30. And as he's about to win, the lights go out. Randy is eliminated, and when they come on, laughter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's poetry. You can't write anything better than that.
That would be
like
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say about Fiend versus Sami Zayn? Johnny Bates just brought that up. Think of Sammy's facial expressions.
You know what? Like, having been to a couple of shows and being like ringside and stuff, he is so great. Like, Sami Zayn is so great with the crowd. Mm-hmm. And he really eggs them on. And he is so good at that I actually think it would be an interesting matchup, because you've got Sammy kind of playing the you know, obnoxious heel type person and, you know, getting the crowd going. And I think that's what a lot of what WWE is missing, is that interaction with the crowd. They're not hyping them up as much as they used to. So between the Fiend and Sami Zayn, I think that they would hype up the crowd.
Yeah, I would love that. James Chadwick saying if he does return, he needs to be more twisted.
I do know that originally, I mean, it was a lot darker. Yeah. Kyle even told us that when he was on the show. He's like, it was a lot darker. So I would like to see it exactly the way he wanted to show it. Even if he did like a YouTube series on his own and just did Firefly Funhouse episodes exactly the way he wanted to do it.
See, that could be some real. Yeah, I want to see it. Fiend versus Riddle. Riddle wants his revenge for rejecting his idea of the game he petitioned for the Funhouse. There's some history there. Okay, mm-hmm. I like that. Erase Your Mind saying Randy would have to be certainly be the first feud. I thought that the Firefly Inferno match was going to be the original revenge match against Randy. Then it turned into the WrestleMania 37 match and 2 losses. Jesse saying it was probably too dark for WWE's PG programming. But you know what? What if they're starting to make that turn now and not be as PG?
I don't know. If they're making a turn, I would actually say it's for the worse. I think they're being a little bit too conservative.
Okay.
To maybe please someone like Disney if their plan is to sell.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. We've got basically 3 companies right now that have tried or have a tie to him. WWE, Impact, AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 3 companies, if someone were to say to you, you have to pick one as the best destination for him, which one would you pick?
Impact, a heartbeat.
Impact in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do a really good job. I do think the AEW has a very intimate kind of show. And I do feel like they are probably the best at really interacting with the fans and getting them on board. It's kind of like a WWE house show. And I think that's something that they do really well is have that intimate setting with the fans. But in terms of storyline, you can't, I mean, if he wants full creative control, the only people that I think would give him that is Impact. And I think he would have the ability to be as dark as he wants because they're not going to really care.
You know that, I'm all for that. I do think that I think you have to look at what each company has done with his type of character.
Mm-hmm.
With AEW, they haven't done a lot with they haven't done a lot with characters like this.
Mm-hmm.
They've shied away from it. Now he could be the exception to the rule. I just because he is the exception to the rule. Just saying that's how it is. WWE has done these gimmicks, but it goes down to, like Jodie said, allowing him to tell his own story, because then it doesn't get watered down into this something that he doesn't want it to be, and then he's not happy. So, so then you look at Impact, and the first argument that I hear from a lot of people, not even an argument, but the first statement is, well, nobody watches Impact. And I will argue with you that, well, not argue with you, I will agree that not enough people watch Impact. I think they have a serious marketing issue. They have a serious issue when it comes to being on an obscure channel in terms of television. They don't advertise enough that they have the option for people to do YouTube. They just don't. So they need to do a better job with that. But let me say something real quick about that. If Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda, if he were to say, you know what, I'm headed to Impact, guarantee you, those numbers would double, triple, and quadruple in almost no time.
And guess what happens after that? You get a network.
Thank you. So just saying, there's benefits for both sides. If he were to do that, but I could see him going, honestly, wherever he wants to go, because he's that type of talent. If he wants to go back to, I agree, Seven Fiend. I think he deserves to sell out stadiums too. But I think when it comes down to it, what does he want to do? Does he want to have an opportunity to tell his story and really get the story out the way he wants it? Or is it about, hearing the fan pop? And I think he loves the fan pop, but I also think he wants to tell the story. Jodie, you can speak further to that, but I think he really wants to tell the story.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've heard him say in an interview before that he would perform for one person if that person was excited about it. And he is one of those, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a rare thing, but he is one of those people that really feeds off of the fans and really interacts with them. And, he loves his fans and he remembers that. And he has the most fantastic memory I've ever seen in my life. But he kind of understands that balance, that we need him just as much as he needs us as well. And I think with Impact, they need that superstar. They need that Roman Reigns big moneymaker for them in order for them to get on a more popular network and have more people watching. It's kind of a cycle effect, a circle effect. Yeah. So yeah, it kind of goes around in a circle. So, he goes to Impact, ratings go up, numbers go up, networks start to go, oh, who's this other company? Maybe we should make an interest in them. And then they end up with a contract. And then more people are seeing Windham wrestle and telling his story the way he wants to. And then they get to see all these other amazing characters that they have in Impact. And it keeps compounding on each other.
Yeah.
I do think, if they play it right, they could get him to the point where he's selling out stadiums because they would build their show around him.
And what people need to realize is that with Windham, let's just say he were to go to Impact Wrestling, I want people to realize this. They would build around him, but once you're there in the door, like a lot of people are gonna come in the door, so to speak, to see him. But once you get there, the other people that you're going to see are super talented. And it's not just because we do a watch along for it. It's not just that. Hernandez, one of their wrestlers, said this: Impact is the best show that people don't watch. It's the most consistent wrestling show that people don't watch. And I stand behind that because it's true. Their talent is amazing. And I don't want this to turn into all about Impact. But now this is interesting. And James, I know that I've seen other people say this, and that maybe it's about him. It was about him taking time off to do this movie. I don't know. But James asked the question, what if his release was a work all along? Probably isn't, but I have seen people say it. I mean, could it have been a case where both parties were kind of butting heads a little bit creatively? And he's like, you know what? I want to go do this movie. This might be the perfect time for me to go do this. We're at an impasse. And,
yeah.
I mean, stranger things have happened. What do you think about that, Jodie? And David, somebody's going to help you with that because we have plenty of people that watch Impact from the UK that can help you out in the chat. So if you're in the UK, tell David where he can watch Impact. And David, you have an open invitation. Join us on Thursdays because we do watch alongs for him. But go ahead, Jodie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. They've got such a great core of characters, and I'm coming at that from an outsider's perspective because I haven't really watched it a lot. I'm not one of those people that watches it every single week. We'll definitely come hang out with you guys as, when you're doing your watch alongs and stuff. And they always seem to have a really good time. Like they really enjoy what they're doing. And I think there were moments in WWE, even if you've never met Windham before, from what everybody knows about him, I feel like, me personally, I could tell when he wasn't happy. In a way, I could kind of sense that wasn't the way he wanted it to go. I felt like at WrestleMania, that wasn't the way he wanted it to go. I felt like, obviously, with the Trashberg match, that wasn't the way he wanted it to go. And I do feel like his demeanor changed a little bit after Alexa came into the picture. I don't know if that's because he wasn't happy about it, or he wasn't happy about it, or maybe it was his idea. I don't know. I just felt like that's when I started to see a little bit of a difference in him, in the way he was kind of acting and his body language. So I don't know. I just think I really want him to have that outlet to tell stories the way that he wants to. And I do think he is a very intelligent man. And I think he's going to I trust him to make the right decision for him. And wherever that is, I'll be there to support him if he decides to go make movies for the next 5 years, and not go back to wrestling right away. That's totally fine. Yeah. So we are just really, I hate to use the word smitten, but we love him, and he's, on top of being a phenomenal speaker and really good at these characters that he comes up with and having that beautiful mind that he does, he really is just a really nice person. He is very down to earth. You can tell when he's meeting fans that he loves the fans. And I think that is something that's becoming a little bit more rare. I think a lot of celebrities nowadays want to be a little bit aloof, and he just never has been that way. Not to me anyway. I fully imagine, when we go to this meet and greet thing in March in Albany, that he's gonna be like, "Oh, it's Jodie," and gives me a big bear hug, because that's just the kind of person that he is, even though I've only talked to him twice. So
let's put that puppy up there.
I'm so excited. That's gonna be so much fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. For those of you who haven't heard this, if you're new or just haven't heard, all of us are going to be in Albany on March 13th to meet Windham Rotunda, and that means that we're going to do something live, whether that's live on location, or if that means that after this thing is over, everybody piles into my tiny apartment, and does something here. We're going to do something live and talk about the experience. So I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I think he will, based on his memory and the interactions that I've had with him, he's going to know exactly who we are before we even get up there. So
exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't met him before, so I doubt he'll know who I am, which is fine. It's fine if he doesn't. I'd be floored if he did. So Big Dan is saying, what if he came back to WWE as a whole new character, entirely separate from his past characters, and maybe you get wrestlers saying you look familiar and I swear I've seen you before but can't remember.
Yeah, Maybe he is, I don't know. Maybe he has another idea of where he wants to go, not necessarily being the Fiend anymore. And that's fine. But I know that he put a lot of thought and effort and time into creating that character. And, you know, he said this in interviews before too. There's definitely a message that he wants to tell. And I think he's trying to find the best way to do it. And it, you know, so far as a fan, it's worked fantastic. He's been fantastic from the beginning, from Cult Leader Bray and Eater of Worlds Bray and Funhouse Bray and the Fiend. They've all been amazing. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got up his sleeve next.
Me too. Dang it, because we miss him.
We do.
We freaking miss him. So, yeah, Alan bringing up how other people have done that in the past, which it can happen. Okay, so this is a special point in the show because, you know, after we get done, there's going to be another show that comes on after us at 7:30, I believe. And I want everybody that's here to go join this. So I'm going to bring somebody on screen real quick, and we're going to finish out our Windham discussion. V Tazzy, what's up, man?
Well, you can tell by my voice. Well, so we had so much fun on Saturday that I ended up catching the cold for 2 days. So that was that. But it was worth it because we had too much fun. But other than that, I am good. I got I can still talk. I can talk. At least I can talk. That's a good thing. At least I can talk. It's good. But
that is a good thing.
I'll put my 2 cents in the middle about the whole Bray situation.
Okay.
Don't forget, of course, NXT 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We get so much of a big show because we have a main roster sighting coming on tonight. As of you guys said his name,
Mr. AJ Styles.
Mr. AJ Styles is in the building, along with so we'll see what's going on with that. That popped up on my screen when I got home. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's good. We have Dexter Lumis versus Trick Williams. That's going to be a great one. Pete Dunne, the master of snapping fingers, going against Tony D'Angelo. See if Tony D'Angelo gets done to swim with the fishes. We have Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai for the 267 millionth time in a street fight match, which should be great because violence, and more violence. I know James like that.
Yes, that's right.
We got the Creed Brothers versus the Grizzly veterans, and Von Wagner, who beat up Kyle O'Reilly a couple weeks ago. See what's going on with him. See what's doing with that. Now, on to that, I have some news.
Breaking news.
Have so much of breaking news. So, one, you guys know that I do work for the Oakland A's. So, we do have ties with the WWE. The other thing is we know a person from there, and he said, please keep an eye out for that first pay-per-view. Please keep an eye out for that. There's a reason why it's there. And there is rumors about Bray.
Hold on. I'm going to turn this up. Because I don't think people can hear this. Okay.
It's not guaranteed, but it's rumored. It's a big rumor out around. So just a heads up.
When is that?
January 1st.
Okay.
January 1st.
Guess what?
We're doing a watch along.
So there's going to be a watch along on this channel.
Right. So the Bray thing is not for a while because of course he's still doing the movie. So obviously he's not going to do anything anytime soon. But keep an eye out for the next 6-7 months.
Thanks, Tazzy.
Remember, Bray got the cards. He got the cards. He can go anywhere right now. There's a reason why WWE is still selling his merch. You think he's gonna sell his merch? It's like, hey, we still got Fiend stuff. Hey.
At first, I was thinking that maybe they just had excess stock and they were trying to get rid of it. But now they keep coming out with new stuff and new stuff and new stuff. I'm like, at this point, you're not trying to sell out stock.
Right. But but let's keep it on the hush hush. Don't tell nobody I told you guys or nothing. This is all.
You just said it on YouTube.
They don't know where I do. They don't know where I got it from. What are you gonna do? Come over my house and beat me up?
Taz is gonna be at home and it's gonna be like, hey,
let me in. But yeah, I personally think there is a possibility of him coming back. That bird thing, that is too much of a coincidence. It's too much. And the crazy part about the whole thing is, I don't know if WrestleMania is actually cool with I met to talk to him about that, but they talked about it too. So WrestleMania, who is actually another big YouTube, they talked about it too. So I'm sitting here like, okay, either they saw what C saw or they saw the same thing. So I'm just saying there's some crazy things out there right now. But yeah, the other one was who would I want to see Ray go against if he ever come back?
Tazzy, before you go there, I gotta ask you this because I feel like your opinion on this is gonna be quick. Okay. Your thoughts on The Chaperone, the movie?
It was okay. It was nothing wrong with it. It was like it wasn't terrible.
I've run into like 4 people that actually like it. You're number 5. I'll count you as 5.
Yeah, that's right. I won't put it on my movie playlist or anything like that.
Okay, I got you. All right, sorry. I had to ask that real quick. Go ahead. Who you like to see him face?
You know what I'd rather see him get face, and this is probably really, really fun because it's actually like probably a mirror image. It's Joe Gacy.
Ooh,
that'd be a very interesting. By the way, pay attention to that storyline too, because that's they haven't said nothing about that today. And if you guys ever seen Harlan last week, amazing, very amazing. But back to Bray. So yeah, I don't know if those rumors are true or not, but hey, but that day one, the day one pay-per-view thing though, yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. Might be a switch, might be a needle mover.
I see what you did there. Take that, Punk.
And we will be opening this during the show tonight.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Is that Moe?
Nope.
Bellet.
Ooh.
That's our new thing we do at the watch along parties now. We actually like, you know what? If we're gonna do something, we might as well have fun doing it, right? So might as well pop a champagne or drink or whatever. And keep it real with you guys, you know. It's a lot more fun.
Gotcha. I can't imagine Saturday Saturday would have been crazy.
Oh yeah.
I
had the DJ that same night, and I was like, oh, I think I got to drive afterwards. So I can't do anything. So I was like, dang,
sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, it would have been we would have been really off the rails then.
Oh goodness. All right, Jodie. Tazzy comes on here dropping just dropping all kinds of stuff, you know, with the breaking news. So What do you think about that? And then we'll head out.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you saw it, now here's the great thing about it. If you see it, you're going to see it with us on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
So is the first reaction to faint, or is the first reaction just to let out the biggest yell in the
I would
world?
probably, if he actually shows up in person and not just like a tease. You know what I mean? I think my knee-jerk reaction is going to be like it was when Burn Fiend showed up, and just oh my gosh, yeah, something.
That was a good reaction. That was awesome.
What would happen if we start getting teases still like after WrestleMania? That would be insane.
That would be insane.
Cause we are gonna know what is it. And then, that'd be a little bit crazy, I think.
Yeah.
It would be nice because me, Chris, and Logan are going to be in Dallas around WrestleMania.
There you go.
As is one Mr. Windham Rotunda going to be there around WrestleMania as well.
My personal opinion, you guys should just fly out to Vegas because there's a Vegas pay-per-view in July. And we'll just go to the pay-per-view out there at the Raiders stadium right there.
Oh dear.
It's actually Money in the Bank.
I think I'm gonna have to win. I might be in England. I'm trying to get over there at some point.
Cheerio.
Next year. Just depends.
There you
How
go.
travel restrictions go. So
Yeah.
I'm 10 hours away, so I can just drive right quick. But you guys, I might have to.
Yeah, I'd have to fly. You know what though? I could make, if it's the same weekend as some tapings for Impact, I could make a whole week out of it.
Oh,
We're gonna talk. So, yeah.
Dalton wants to bring the shots.
Shots? Somebody say shit. Oh! Woo! 1 minute left.
You know what? We can have that discussion.
We made it 59 minutes without any sexual innuendos whatsoever. I'm kind of proud of us.
I
am too.
Ferguson earlier, but hey.
Nothing beats Santa riding sex or sex riding Santa. Like, nothing beats that at all. I can't even believe that that's something we had to actually say. It was crazy. Sex Ferguson is man. That's all I'll say. All right. Any final words, Jody, before we take off?
You guys behave yourselves.
Behave yourselves. Yeah.
Try to. I got a 2-hour show, so we'll see.
There you go. And do us a favor, folks. Go check out Tazzy's stream tonight. And if you have not subscribed to his channel yet, please go subscribe to his channel. That's it for us. The rest of the week, all we're doing is Impact on Thursday. We're not doing after the Impact. We're just doing our watch along for Impact on Thursday. So we'll be back for that at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Go watch Tazzy after this, please.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the league now.
There you go. All right, folks. We're going to get out of here. If you don't mind, drop us a like on this video. It helps us get the video seen. It helps our channel be seen. And if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Drop us a like. Hit that post notification bell. And, we'll see you on Thursday, hopefully, for Impact. They're doing a best of show. So we'll talk about a lot of things. I may talk to Joe about maybe squeezing in that top 10 that we were talking about before with favorite top 10 Impact TNA matches of all time. We'll talk about it and see what happens. But all right, folks, and Tazzy put his link in the chat there. So go check out his stream, 7:30, right, Tazzy?
7:30 on the
7:30. 7:30 on the dot. Be there, be square. All right, folks. We will see you next time. Take care this evening. Have a great rest of your week if we don't see you on Thursday. And if we don't see you before then, have a Merry Christmas and enjoy some time with the fam. If you don't celebrate Christmas, have some happy holidays, happy time off, that kind of stuff if you're off from work. All right, folks. We'll see you next time. Take care.